today. All 200K and up. And just excited for everybody to hear, and you'll find so many basics between all of what they are saying. And, these guys are great leaders that are all, the one thing about being a great leader is you have to be a great follower to begin with. And every one of these guys is, just unbelievable, and excited for people to hear them. So we have the top of the hour. This is Mike Page, and I'm excited to be on this call today and bring on, we got 7 amazing speakers today that are all 200K and above. Excited for everybody to hear what they have to say and what really creates the success. I'm just going to kick it off real quick and go over a couple of things before I start passing this call on to the speakers that are on today. But, I got introduced to Le-Vel basically July of 2013, and, Paul Gravett called me, shared the big picture vision of the company. What got me so excited was our cloud-based business model. And I have really been a broken record since that day. I've said the same things over and over and over again. I've never varied. What I got excited about was the fact that, as a company, only cloud-based company in the direct sales space, no big fancy office buildings, 90% reduction in staff. For me, that was absolutely critical. I knew that if we had a product that, that the company was able to put more resources into, we had an absolute home run. I hadn't even experienced the product, and I started calling everybody I knew and telling them how excited I was about the business model, about what this company was going to do. And 22 months later, it feels amazing to see everything come to fruition that I knew was going to happen, and we're just getting started, as a company. And, I'd always I was a personal trainer for 20 plus years, had to get to the gym at 5 a.m., and if I wanted to make a great living, I had to do 10, 12 appointments every single day. It was exhausting. I ended up in the hospital with spinal meningitis that literally almost killed me. From that point forward, I saw direct sales as just a smart business model, a way to protect myself and my family from, as a personal trainer, if I wasn't there, I was in trouble. I wasn't making any money. Every time I went on vacation, I had to pay for vacation and the time off. I just missed that income. And so just saw it, but I'd never really been able to hit the home run. And Paul gave me really great advice. I've passed this along to every single person, every single leader. I guarantee you every person on, every speaker on this call has heard this more times than they, than they could count. But, he gave me this great advice. First thing was, don't be a product expert. For a guy that's his whole life, that's all he'd ever done was be a product expert, you'd think that it'd be tough to give up. It wasn't. Instantly took down the website for the book that I wrote, and I got on three-way call after three-way call after three-way call and listened to how Paul explained the products without being a products expert and getting into all the details, and changed my entire life from top to bottom. Second thing is, he said, use a system, and you'll probably hear multiple people talk about a system. And, the biggest thing about using a systems are duplicatable. People aren't. If you're out there talking about things that the person with the least amount of knowledge or the brand new person that just joined your organization can't talk about, then you're not going to create duplication. And out of every single thing on this call, in order to go 200K, one, you have to have a team. In order to have a team, you have to create duplication. It's sticking to the basics and not varying. As we grow and there's more and more leaders in this company, you'll get on calls and you'll hear certain things. The one thing that I've never got on a call and go, oh my gosh, that's so smart. That must be the key, and jumped off and went off the rails, off track. If Paul didn't tell me, or if he doesn't say it, I don't change anything. And honestly, 22 months haven't changed one single thing about the way that I've done things. So our system, starts with free signups. Free signups are absolutely the backbone and the measure of how much activity is happening within your team. We sign people up for free so that they have their own access of information, so that they can check out the details. Anytime I'm talking to somebody and they ask any question, it always comes back to, hey, we have a simple system to get you fully informed. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to get you your own free link for free information. You can check out the details like I did that got me so excited. Second thing we do is we put them on that 24-hour pre-recorded call that shares the big picture vision of the company. One of the most important things to remember is, if you're not somebody that's a major business person or a product expert that people just automatically respect, they don't know anything about Le-Vel. The first thing you want to do is just get the focus off of yourself and onto the tools so that the tools can do the work. And again, that 24-hour pre-recorded call is absolutely amazing at sharing the big picture vision of the company. The second thing, or the third thing that we want, hold on one second. All right, sorry about that, guys. The third thing we do is we get them onto the fan page, so that people can start reading stories. Our own experience is our own experience. The person that we're talking to, they may not be their challenge that they're dealing with may not be the same as the challenge we're dealing with. When they get to the fan page, again, they get to see the big picture of all the things that are happening for people on the Thrive experience. And the last thing we do is we put them on a three-way call. Not sure why, but our friends, family, people that know us, they will listen more to a stranger than they'll listen to ourselves. The brand new person, we've always got to remember everything we do has to be about the brand new person that just started their Thrive experience yesterday. They're sharing it with their family. When people have questions, we don't want that brand new person answering those questions. We want to put them on with somebody that has more experience that can get those questions answered, and again, just direct that person so that they feel comfortable in starting their own Thrive experience. So to me, those are the most important things in creating application, is our system and also our VIP 800, 1600, and I know somebody is going to be covering that on this call. So first I'm going to bring on Kendra, and huge congrats to you. Last local, just last week, over 700 people there in attendance, and Washington's second state in all of Le-Vel. So Kendra, can you come on and just share your points and the things that you had to cover about going 200K?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me on the call. I can't stress enough the importance of the system. When I got started last year in July, I didn't follow it. I hit VIP 800. I missed VIP 1600. I missed 4K in the free iPad. But when I started following the system, mid-August, everything fell into place, and I hit 200K in December. That was what last year we had. What do you need to do to go 200K by Christmas? Every single person on this call can absolutely go 200K by Thanksgiving, no problem. This system works. Personal activity, something that you told me, Mike, when I was pushing for 200K in November of last year. You said, you are too personal away. I was about 100,000 more than halfway through the month, and you didn't tell me you need to run promotions or you need to get your team doing more things, you said you need 2 more personals that are great. And personal activity is always going to bring in the most new business, and new business hitting VIP 800, VIP 1600 is what is going to create reorder orders. If you're running promotions, you'll get volume right then, but that's not going to lead to reorders. That's not residual income. So new blood is absolutely the lifeblood. I hear all the time people talking about team calls, Thrive After 5, locals, whatever it is. My people are tired of hearing stories. Never get away from sharing stories. Facts tell, stories tell. So whether it's, if you're doing a Thrive After 5, do not just sit around and BS. You've got to have at least 4 to 5 people standing in front of the room, sharing their testimony, whether it's on the product or with their success, but you've got to always be sharing stories. Events, promote, promote, promote. Don't just create a Facebook event and hope people show up. If you're doing a team call, make sure you're putting the event up early and you're sharing that on your team pages, on your personal pages, post within that event. Nikki Crittenton is incredible about promoting her events. She's always updating. Jump in there. This call's tonight. Don't miss it. Post again an hour before. This call starts in an hour. Make sure your team's on it. This call starts in 15 minutes. Make sure you're on it. Running events. Make sure you're always promoting new guests. New blood is the lifeblood. So what we've done $500 to the promoter that has brought the most new guests. And the winner at our last event had 8 new guests. We had over 105 on the sign-in sheet for new guests. Thank you, Katie Rafter, for running all of that. But you've got to always be bringing in new people because that is where your growth is always going to come from. And then daily activities. You have to be reaching out to new people daily, following up with new people daily, creating new accounts daily, and doing three-way phone calls daily. Daily activities are what build a business. Mike, I'm going to hand it back to you.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Kendra. And just a side note on that of events, you know, here in Utah, we have, from day one, we have, everybody has pitched, all leaders have pitched into throwing events, you know, especially the bigger they get, the bigger the meeting space. Everybody in that local area needs to be pitching in for that event as a leader. I mean, that's what leaders do. We come together to create a much better event, being able to run aggressive promos for new people. So thank you so much, Kendra. And next person I'm going to bring on is Johnny, and share the points that you had to cover going 200K VIP by 11/25/2015.
Thank you, Mike. You know, one of the biggest things that got me to 200K was commitment. Period. I committed to doing it, and when I committed to doing it, it was there was no stopping me. And it was a focused commitment. It wasn't, I'm going to do this and I just know it's going to happen for me, so I'm putting my faith in it, and because I'm committed to Le-Vel and I've given my all, it's going to happen. No. I sat in a chair for, you said 60 to 90 days, and I listened. So I sat in a chair for 60 to 90 days, and I wouldn't eat some days because I was literally calling people, texting people, messaging people, not stopping, and forgetting to eat. Sometimes Chris would have to remind me that I smelled funny and I had to go shower because I hadn't showered in 3 days. Commit and be focused on your commitment. Don't think that you're working your business every day, sing a novel on a status. Don't think you're building your business and you're committed and focused by sending a text message, do you want to try the Thrive experience? It is not a committed and focused goal. You need to literally believe yourself and reach to every single person every single day. And the second thing that I want to cover is wording, your verbiage, the way you're talking to people. You will never hear Paul Gravett say, go ask your friends if they want to try the Thrive experience. Take the word try, throw it out the window, and run it over with a semi-truck. I don't want to hear it ever again. I don't want to hear it in daily anything. Don't ever say try the Thrive experience. If you listen to the way Paul speaks, are you ready to experience what the Thrive experience will do for you? Or, I mean, I get worked up on this. It really, really, really gets to me. I see status after status after status after status experience. Nobody wants to try it. or help me out and order your Thrive experience. People, you're devaluing the product when you say help me and order. Don't help me, help yourself. This product, when somebody asks me, what is the Thrive experience? Thrive experience is great. You know, I've lost 2 pant sizes. My shirts are fitting way better. I've noticed that I'm needing to buy a new belt every 2 months. I feel my energy is incredible. I don't feel lethargic in the morning, and I can't even put into words how good I feel. It's something you just got to experience. Well, what is it? Well, that's a really great question. There's a really simple system to get you fully informed. And then I walk them through that system. Guys, like Mike said, if you can get out of the way, the system is there for you not to have to work, not to have to know everything. Going 200K, get out of the way. Be a sponge to whoever it is that three-way calls. Get with a 200K and say, I want to block off an hour, and I want to do 5 or 7 three-way phone calls with you in that hour. Can we bust out that many in a row like that? Absolutely. Get in there and then say, hey, Sarah, I know you had a bunch of questions for me for, what the Thrive experience does. That's a really great question. This is my friend Casey Carter. I apologize. I'm really slammed right now. Casey's the one that actually answers all my questions, so you're going to be getting great information talking to Casey. I'm going to mute my phone out and get back to what I had to take care of. Mute, and you're done. Now you're a sponge and you're taking notes. You are listening. You're listening to the way Casey speaks. And then when you're done, go to Chris and say, Chris, hey, I want you to do 5 or 7 three-way phone calls with me. And now you're listening to the way Chris does his three-way phone calls. And then you go to Mike, and then you become a leader, and you've got a little bit of Casey and a little bit of Chris and a little bit of Mike. And the next thing you know, it's exploding. You have duplication. So that's really, really, really what I wanted to cover, and I'm going to pass it back to you, Mike, and thank you for having me on this call.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And, Johnny is one of the, he's always following the system, getting people into that and three-way call, and it's one of the reasons why he's, had massive, massive success. So next person I'm going to bring on is John Godshaw, and I met him very early on down in Florida at a local with maybe 15 people in a house when that market started, and just recently went full-time into Le-Vel. So excited to bring him on. John, you out there?
I am, Mike. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fantastic. So go ahead and take it away.
I appreciate it. It's an honor to be on the call with these amazing leaders that we get to call friends, and it's exciting. Mike, I appreciate you. You had me come on. You want me to touch on the one subject, but a couple other things that I want to go over. The first thing I wanted to go over real quickly is, which Johnny kind of really touched on, is be a product of the system. I wasn't that person in the very beginning. Kendra had the same kind of experience, didn't follow it, and I didn't. I had some pretty quick initial success, and I did it myself. And I'm like, yeah, I got this. This is what, I got this. And then I fell on my face and had to go back and, tuck my tail between my legs back to my personal sponsor, Gary Simmons, and said, okay, you mentioned something about some system. Tell me a little bit more about this. And he's like, don't talk. So one thing Paul says, Mike says it all the time, a lot of the leaders say the same thing. Obviously, success leaves clues. Talk less to more, okay? The other thing I wanted to touch on briefly before I touch on my main point is don't go for the yeses. Honestly, if you can focus on the no's, if you can go for 100 no's, and then, let's say what's next, go for 100 more no's, you're going to get the yeses, okay? I look at it like a game of blackjack. You've got 8 decks of cards in a shoe, which is where they deal the cards from, okay? They shuffle them up, and they're all mixed up, and you've got 7 other people sitting next to you at the table, okay, and they're flipping those cards, and sometimes you get a 3 and a 5, and you're like, oh, man, the guy next to you just got blackjack, the dealer's got an ace every time, but you know what? You got to keep flipping the cards, keep being engaged in that game, and pretty soon that ace is going to hit your seat, okay? So don't be afraid to go for no's. remove the emotion from the no. Remove it, okay? So my main point that I wanted to talk about is staying connected to your locals. When I first met Mike, trying to get him onto a three-way call sometimes was challenging because Mike was traveling a lot. What are you doing, Mike? Oh, I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm going there. What are those? Doing locals, just like how I met you down in Florida. And I said, you know what? Success leaves clues. So our group has been hammering out locals, Thrive After Fives. I want to say we did 14 or 15 of them in this month alone, all the way to outside of Philadelphia, Baltimore, North Carolina, Atlanta. We're doing them because we want our group to stay connected. So if you want to go 200K, if there's an event that's in your area, get to it. It creates something special. You feel like you're a part of something that's just not you. Okay? Yeah, we're not a home party company. Okay? We're not doing, 5 nights a week in everybody's different, living rooms. But if there's an event in your area, whether it's once or twice a month, get to it, because you get to see like-minded people that are loving this experience. That is what's driving the growth of this company. People experience Thrive. They don't try it. They experience it, and they fall in love. What is more powerful than a community that's in love with a product that's changing lives? Okay, so stay connected to your leadership. Success leaves clues. Stay connected to the groups that are doing the locals. Find out where they're at and get to them. If you got to drive an hour, go. We had one the other night in Fort Lauderdale. We may have had 30 or 40 people there, and there was 5 or 6 of them that drove over 2 hours just to come to the event. You know what they're doing? They're breaking 4K. They're breaking 12K. They're breaking the ranks because they're connected. They're in love with something that's bigger than them. So, Mike, I appreciate all you do for us, and I'm going to throw it back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And, the one thing I'll add to that is every time you go to an event, get people there. And I heard a leader in the direct sales space one time say, if my buddy came over to my house and signed the deed to his home over to me, if he didn't show up that night at the meeting, I'd be pleasantly surprised to see him. Pick people up. Plan something either before, hey, let's grab a bite to eat. I'm going to pick you up at 5 o'clock if the event's at 7. And because things happen, especially right after work, people will get sidetracked, or it's been a long day. They're exhausted like they are every single day, and most people won't step out of their box to come to something that could change their life. So pick them up, and just always make sure everything we do, whether it's your team call, a lot of times I get these team calls and people, it's just a call to have a call, or an event to have an event. It's always about bringing that brand new person on the line. So next person I'm going to bring on is Casey Carter. Hopefully most of you have seen that video that Paul was shooting with right after our event was over, and you see all these people just flying out of the house. We could not find a meeting space that was going to work here in Salt Lake fast enough. Casey just took the ball and said, hey, I'll host it. Huge, just awesome to step up and make that happen for everybody. We just had an amazing event, packed out house. So Casey, come on and talk about what points you have for people to go 200K.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on the call. A couple of things. I just really want to touch on one thing, Mike, that you said in the very beginning that makes perfect sense, and I want everybody to write this down. Great leader is a great follower. Okay, this requires to become a leader. This requires you to humble down, to let go of that ego, drop that ego, and follow what other successful people are doing. Listen to somebody that's having the success that you want. Okay, I think it's The Rock. He says it all the time. Don't listen to somebody unless you're willing to trade places with them. So it's an absolutely phenomenal, saying, and I love to live by that. So, and with that being said, Mike, I love listening, and I truly feel like I've just followed you in your footsteps and pretty much try to duplicate you. So a couple of things that I want to go into. Everybody hears the system. The system works. Follow the system. Mike went over the system, every key step, and he's right. The system does work, okay, but it requires you to follow. It requires you to let go of that ego, okay? Next thing is, Johnny even touched on this. From now, what it's going to take for you to hit 200K in November 25th this year, I can tell you right now, one of the most important things it's going to take, and one of the hardest things at the same time, is sacrifice. Okay? Sacrifice is going to be the hardest thing to do this year, especially coming into the summer. This is when you need to reevaluate. Do you really want to hit 200K? Do you want to? Because I'll tell you this. I remember last year, myself, Johnny, Chris, Mike, very rarely did we do anything but work. We missed family barbecues, we missed family birthdays, and we were in the grind, and we stayed in the grind. Okay? Consistency is the next thing. Consistency. You're going to have people watching you all year. They're waiting for an excuse to say no. They're waiting for an excuse to not do it. Okay? One of the easiest things for them is when you become inconsistent. Okay? Whether it's your posting, okay? It's your Thrive experience, stories that you're sharing, your team calls, everything. If you don't stay consistent, you're also giving a reason for the people that are watching you to actually say no. Okay? Next thing is the negativity. Get rid of negativity. Your posts, your Facebook's your storefront. You're representing health and wellness products. Why in the world would you post negativity? And then call me or Mike the next week and say, you know what, nobody's responding to me. I can't get anybody to pick up the phone. Well, why would they? Why would they when you're on Facebook just complaining about life? You don't think Mike has problems? You don't think I have problems? And Johnny and Chris? Of course. That's just life. But you're not going to see our dirty laundry. You're not going to see everyday struggles. And I'll tell you this, the bigger impact you're going to make on the world, the more positive impact you're going to make on the world, the more the opposition is going to come at you. Okay? And just like Jason said, gosh, this was over a year and a half ago. I remember when Paul in Salt Lake, and Jason's like, we need to be warriors. Okay? We need to be warriors because the arrows are going to come at us. Absolutely. And another thing going with the negativity, remember, you become the 7 people you hang around with most. Okay, so just think about who you're surrounding yourself with. That is so, so important. Okay, next thing, stay out of your comfort zone. Okay, if you want to live in your comfort zone, you're never going to achieve greatness. Okay, greatness takes struggle. It takes pain, anguish, but you have to persevere through that. Do not relent. You have to push through that. Ask any athlete, okay? Ask any business owner. Greatness comes after you go through all the pain, the hurt, the suffering, the sacrifice. And it's the ones that are willing to push through all of that that achieve greatness. And it's up to you. If you want to not only achieve greatness, but help other people achieve greatness, you have to set the example. You have to lead by example. So with that being said, Mike, I'm going to hand it back to you, my man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of great points there about what it takes to go 200K. I'm going to go over some of those right at the end of the call and close this out. But next person I'm going to bring on is Elaine, and excited to have you on, and just recently went full-time. And I know that was, I think I was there, the local, right before you were going to do that, and it was just one of those huge moments in time, but my gosh, things have exploded the second that you made that decision. So Elaine, come on and share your points.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. Guys, I had a slow start. just like some of the other people on the call, you know, I was in my own way, and you have to make the decision to step aside, get out of your own way, make the decision about what you want to get out of Le-Vel, how fast you want your team to build. All the pocket locals and the market locals that we're doing, we're going out to support those people, and you've heard it 100 times on this call alone, that are following the system. You're following the system and your organization is growing. We're coming to help support that with you. So, and again, Mike touched on it a little bit. Don't show up to these events alone. There's no reason to not grab your neighbors, grab your family members. Pack your car out and get to these locals. The locals are what build your business. The people can hear your excitement. They see your passion about how the products have changed your life, how the products are helping you and your friends that are already on it with your other promoters that are in your organization. So make the decision to get out of your way and let us help you. Follow the system to a T, and your business will explode. And I can promise that when I put my head down and made that decision, that is when I saw the biggest growth in our organization. It was not me by myself. I have a massive, awesome group of leaders in this organization, as well as upline, that support us on a daily basis. Guys, reach up as high as you can go. Pull out all the knowledge from your upline support leaders. Let them help you grow your business. But you have to make the decision to get out of your own way first. So with that, Mike, I'll toss it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the call, Elaine. And Nikki Kennedy, are you out there? And, you know, same thing, just recently went full-time, retired as a nurse, and super excited to have you on. So, Nikki, come on and share your points. You know, you're probably the most recent 200K on this call. So kind of share what you feel is important to hitting that 200K by November.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mike, for having me on this call. You know, I'm coming up on my year anniversary with the company, and I came in knowing in my heart that this company and product was going to change my family's entire life. And I made a decision from day one that this was going to work, and I was going to make it work, and I was not here to reinvent the wheel. And I knew there was going to be sacrifices, temporary sacrifices I had to make, and put a lot of stuff on the back burner for my family. You know, our house is a disaster. My twin boy's second birthday is coming up on Saturday, and they're not getting a fancy Pinterest party. They're going to get pizza, store-bought cake, and I'm going to have my Bluetooth on, and I don't care what my friends and family that are here, you know, their opinions of that may be, because this is a decision me and my husband made for our family and our future. You know, I zoned in with Gary Simmons right away. I picked a coach, and the 200K of this organization, and his mentor is Mike Page and Paul Gravett. And, you know, I didn't chase other teams' calls because I think it's important to stick with the leader and stick with their playbook, because it can get distracting and confusing when you hear new things as a new person. So Gary and told him, I don't want to reinvent the wheel, and he told me what to do, and it was follow the system like everyone heard about, the locals, which is so important, which a lot of people just talked on. And the other big thing that we do as an organization is our team calls. We call them friends and family calls, and it's having the newest person, the newest samplers, the newest customers, the newest promoters get on and share their stories. That's how people connect. Gary told me we have to get good at other people's efforts, and that's by getting into other people's networks. So we dig deep and harvest these different stories and let people get on and help the new promoter hit their VIP this way and help customers get their product for free. So that's a huge thing that we do. We do at least 8, 9 of these a week with all the different leaders, you know, 4Ks and up, and even the newest person coming in. If they have, you know, $1,500 in volume and they have some customers, you know, let's get them on to share their stories, and they can invite their friends and family and hear what Thrive's all about. Thank you, Mike, so much for having me on this call, and I'll hand it back over to you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. And I think that's honestly very, very important. Some of, you know, the thing that jumped out at me is just pick a leader and follow them. Like you said, there's lots of different personalities, lots of different things. You know, some people connect better, but you have to have one person that you follow, because your focus has to be laser focused on exactly what you're doing. And if you hear something, you're like, oh, that sounds great, and you go chase, it's like chasing butterflies. You ever see a kid out there that's just, you know, they have no focus, or a dog, you know, they're just chasing everything. There's no focus whatsoever. To go
Mike,
200K, yeah.
Let me add something to that real quick without an intro. Every one of us on this call, like we may follow somebody, right? You can take all the nuggets off this call. People are taking notes, notes. When you hang up the call, who are you teaming up with is another way I would phrase it. When you and I, not you, but when you and I decided to build this business together, we built it together. You didn't build it by yourself. When Jason and myself decided to build this business, you all, before we ever turned on for orders, we built it together. And so when I think about Chastity, by the way, you all want to make a note, this upcoming Thursday at 12 o'clock p.m., another call that I would encourage you all to be on a call and take notes, because you're going to get another perspective of how this woman went 200K VIP in 30 days. So where is your team's and your partners' mindsets? Where are they? Can they be 200K by 11/25/2015? If people are doing it in 60 and 90 days, you all have got to find a partner. And I say that not to go too long on this, but not just following somebody, but I've never seen anyone go 200K VIP. From taking all these notes, when it's over, who are you all doing three-way calls and team calls with today? Every single person on this call has to have 1 to 4 partners. Regina Summers today, Mike, and I'll turn it back to you. I talked to her, and she says, I use Tony for this. I use Emily for this. I use Lisa for this. I use you for this. She was mentioning somebody else for this. I can't remember who it was. She mentioned 5 people in 30 seconds that she used for different things. She's going 200K VIP this month. You all think about that. The only people that don't go 200K are the goofy ones that sit on Facebook and put a video out or go post every day on Facebook, and they don't do three-way calls and team calls. They don't lead them. They don't partner with people. You got to get your boys out there, and you got to find who your partners are. Mike, I'll turn it back to you.
Absolutely. You know, there is no doubt about it that there's a synergy that you have when two people are completely focused on one goal. You start adding 3, 4, 5, you know, like Paul said, and it is absolutely so powerful to have people around you that are focused in the same direction, you know, on the common goal. So last person we're going to bring on is Chris Collins, and I love Chris. He has a way of just saying it exactly how it is. So, you know, I'm excited to bring you on and hear what, you know, your points are that you want to cover for going 200K.
Yeah, man, thank you. God, this is probably my absolute favorite phone call that has ever been done by this company, and kudos to all of you leaders that are bringing this information out there. I don't think it's a secret, guys, on how to be successful. I don't think it is at all. I think everybody has more or less been what Mike has been since day one, a broken record. We follow a system. That's pretty simple. We know that if we get a job at McDonald's, we're not going to walk into that place and be like, man, you know what? This guy ordered a cheeseburger, but I'm going to throw some chicken nuggets on this bad boy and add a pickle to it, and I'm just going to start a new cheeseburger, and hopefully the rest of the world will decide they like this kind of thing. That's not going to happen. That franchise is going to fail miserably because you can't just go change things. A lot of times people are finding a new way because they are not following the system accurately, and it's not providing results. When you're not getting results and someone says, hey, we should all do this, it's working really great, and then all of a sudden it's something different, it's exciting, and so we all kind of lose sight of the big picture, and we jump over and we start doing that, and then we start trying this, we start trying that, and like John said, get try out of it. Just do the system. It has been put together by the owners of this company for a reason. They have more experience in this industry than any of us, and they made it because it works. Now, if you look back, when I first got it started, right after Mike, which is with a very, very few, I guess, core group of leaders or pioneers, whatever you want to call it, we all helped and contributed and learned and built the foundation of this business on two things: three-way phone calls and team calls. And I will be the first leader to ever admit, after we hit a certain rank, after I hit a certain rank, I got lazy. Boy, it was easy because I was broke. And all of a sudden, I was making a couple $1,000s a week, and I was really excited about it, guys. I was really excited about it. And I was really excited to go out and spend that money and forget about my business. I was real excited to start taking vacations and start spending that money. And so I stopped doing team calls. I didn't think I needed to anymore. And you know what happened? Everyone else in my team stopped doing team calls. And I can't speak for other leaders, but what I feel has happened is we as leaders dropped the ball a little bit. And then all of a sudden, new leaders came in, and they created all these awesome other words that I kind of had an issue with in the beginning, and I'll admit that too. And the reality is a friends and family call is a team call. And it doesn't matter what word you want to put on it. And the leaders are admirable because they got the message that, holy crap, if we can get everyone's friends and family on a phone call, we can share a message that is going to hit more people than just one person. So it doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is that you do it. And when you look at all of this stuff, and I get that this phone call is aggressive, but consistency is what will build your business. Consistency in following this system, no matter how boring or dumb you think it is, no matter what you think your friends want to hear, you have to understand that every single person that spoke on this call did it because they were disciplined enough. When they weren't getting the yeses, they were getting nothing but no's. When they were getting crapped on by all their friends, when their family was disowning them, when they were sitting in chairs, not doing anything, not eating, not sleeping, not showering, guys, there is a reason why people are where they are. I would be willing to bet that nobody that spoke on this call in the last year watched maybe more than a combined 30 minutes of television. Get that out of your life. You need to realize we're coming up on summer. What do we do in summer? We go out and play. We go out and have fun. We want to go to the pool. We want to go to barbecues. We want to go drinking with our friends. Guys, this is the moment where this business has taken its stride because multiple people have committed their lives to building this business. Are you here to build a friendship circle, or are you here to contribute your worth, life, future, empire to helping this company reach $1 billion and beyond? Because the product's there, the leadership's there, the system's there, every tool is there for you. The only thing you need to do is listen, follow, and commit to it. I made a video the other day when I was out playing with my daughter. I was like, well, this will be a quick video. She's walking. It's exciting. She was trying to walk up this teeny tiny little grass hill. I think it was a 17-minute video, and honestly, if I had the patience to sit down and count how many times my daughter fell down, it would be well over 100, 200 falls. And it took her 17 minutes to probably go 8 feet up a hill. But did she ever cry when she fell? No. Did she ever look at me all frustrated? Yes. And then she got back up. And then she got back up. And sometimes when she fell, she rolled. It was really cute. But she got back up. And then she got back up. And then she got back up. And then she got back up. And I don't care if I'm saying this over and over again. The more she fell, the more it wasn't a cute video. The more it was a realization in life that most people would have given up. Most people would walk away. It's easy to fail. Those who want to make this can make this. There is no magic or luck. It's just commitment and dedication and sacrifice and everything lumped together. And if you guys are willing to do it, we're willing to help. Focus on this system. Focus on helping everyone hit VIP. If you don't remember how excited you were when you made $660, shame on you for getting where it all started. If you don't remember how incredible you felt when you got on this product, shame on you for getting where this started. If this has become a money thing, it's time to reevaluate why you're doing this business. I'm just being honest. Everybody in the world deserves the same chance to succeed in this business, and this company is a vehicle for every single one of us. So stay aggressive, have fun with it, but stay in tune. Do not give up. Do not get easy, or you will go backwards. Mark my words on that. So congratulations to everybody that's hit the ranks, and congratulations to those who will hit the ranks, because this is our time, and it's here, and it's doable. So that's all I got, Mike. Let's go back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. And I'll just, close this up in a couple of minutes. But, you know, the one thing that I was told is go out and sign up 100 people for free in your first 30 days. And I, over and over and over again. With the exception of a couple of people on this call, I think that happened. But whenever that moment is that you make a decision that you're going to go 200K, go out and put 100 brand new people in the system. Because, you know, if you introduce this to 10 people, you're going to have a certain percentage that are going to move forward, say yes as a customer or as a promoter. And we all know what happens to a lot of our customers. They decide they want to go out and share it. If you introduce it to 100 people, you're just going to have 10 times that amount of success. The other thing is momentum. If you're going to go 200K, you have to have momentum. I've watched person after person after person hit 170, 180, 190. All of a sudden they go over 200 and they go from 200 to 400 or 500. But what that took was consistency of pushing and pushing and pushing. And if you don't quite make it, there's a reason for that. There's a reason. That 50th person that you call is the person that's going to change your life forever. I can pretty much name on this call every single person that came into one of the speakers' organizations that changed their life forever. If you're at 12K, if you're at 40K, if you're at 8, especially if you're at 80K, one person coming into your organization can change everything. You know, every big leader in this company has that one person that came in and just absolutely exploded it. So when you're sitting there in the grind and maybe you haven't grown in a month, 2 months, 3 months, look at your own personal activity and ask yourself, have you really given it 100%, or have you got back into management mode where you haven't brought in a brand new personal? I love corporate, the Cadillac giveaway, because every single person in this company has an equal shot of winning that, because it was all about how many people, the basis of everything we do as a company. You want to grow virally and really fast, you know, I can promise you none of the leaders that spoke on this call could explain how the comp plan works, but they absolutely know how to create their check. And that's focusing on VIP 800, 1600. It's digging in with the brand new person. Our business model, the foundation of all of it is VIP 800, bringing in those 2 customers that get in on auto ship, those 2 promoters that choose upgrade packages, $800 in orders, and we pay $660 on 800 when you're talking to somebody. That's the excitement. You know, sometimes we get off track with promos or new products coming in. You want to go 200K, you focus in solely on the Thrive experience. Waking up in the morning, taking those 2 capsules, 20 to 30 minutes later, taking that lifestyle mix, throwing on the DFT, and you're done for the day. People will order all of our other plus products. We don't really need to focus on them. We don't need to talk about them. We don't need to, you know, we've got to get in that grind of, you know, it's exciting. It's always, you know, chasing that new toy is always exciting. But if you come back to what builds this business really fast, what's going to take you 200K is a Thrive experience and teaching people how they can earn $660 on 800 every single day. Never, you know, not deviating, not getting off track. What will make Le-Vel a billion-dollar company will not be new products. It will be the foundation of what this company created it to be, the fastest growing company in the direct sales space. Absolutely explosive growth were those fundamentals of every day. So what gets me more frustrated than anything is when someone who says they're a leader is wondering why their team's not exploding and they're not in the grind with personal activity. There is something magical, you know. People can have other leaders to reach up to, but your own personal team, they're going to do what you are going to do. And so I'll finish with this visualization. You're pushing this giant boulder uphill. When you first start, you're all by yourself. Pushing this thing, man, it is a grind. Man, that thing might even run you over and you're flat on the ground. But then all of a sudden you get one person coming in, somebody that thinks just like you, and then you're fighting. The one thing I can tell you about going 200K, I've told every one of these leaders on this, you're going to be doing 30, 40, 50 three-way calls a day. If you're at dinner with your family, you better step out. Because think about, all of a sudden you got 10 people pushing that boulder, and number 11 is going to be on that three-way call, but they can't get anybody because you're at the movies or you're doing something, you're at a barbecue, and you can't step out. And now all of a sudden, you don't have 11. Maybe one of the persons quit. So now you got 9. You lost all that momentum. Momentum is caused from taking every single phone call, no matter how annoying it is, how frustrating, how whatever, and you have to have a vision of exactly. When I started, the only thing I wanted was the best Christmas for my family that I'd ever had. The last 10 years prior to that were horrible. I was so fed up with being broke that it didn't matter if it was midnight or 6 a.m. in the morning. You don't have to do it forever, but you do have to do it, I think a year where you're just in the grind. And if you look at Paul and Jason, it's been over 3 years for them. They're in the grind every single day. They don't go, hey, we hit 25, 30 million a month. We're just going to relax. No way. They're working harder than ever. So you want your business to explode. You want to make life-changing money forever. You want to go 200K by 11/25 or 2015. You have got to hold yourself accountable and be the leader of your team. And you got to work harder than you've ever worked in your life. But the rewards are absolutely worth it for yourself and your family. So, thank you everybody who spoke, and thanks everybody who tuned in. This call is officially over.